changed. I know that in the early days, and the board members standing behind me, the two that we've had our moments from time to time, will remember lines like, "They're not my bosses, they're my bankers." And the chair, in fact, in our first discussion raised that issue with me and said, "You're exactly right, Sheriff. I don't want to see a business plan from you before we give you more money." That gets my attention quick in terms of his commitment to money driving the policy. Now, he said it in good humor, and it wasn't bad. But really, let me just tell you this. There's a tenor in here I want to change. We don't come to this discussion reluctantly. I've been begging for this discussion since we got here. I wanted the board to be involved. The real issue is the structure of the government makes it very difficult to work through these issues. This deputy chief operating officer for public safety is a huge step forward. It's just not another political staff body. It will be the driver of policy in this county for as long as it exists, to the people who ought to be driving the policy, the board and the chair. And the sheriff will be engaged because the sheriff will have to be engaged. If you look at the structure in Washington County, for instance, with the county manager, and you look at the organizational chart, the sheriff simply falls in line with Department of Community Justice and everything else under public safety. The sheriff's independently elected there. The system, as I talked to Sheriff Gordon about the system that we're sitting up here, he shrugs his shoulders at me and says, "Yeah, what we do here all the time." The sheriff has become, the sheriff's office, I'm not telling you that the services aren't good and have not been good, it's become isolated from the rest of the county structure. And in there is the board's inability to control costs in a way that they believe, and I believe, is necessary. So the sheriff's office is not coming to this reluctantly. So the idea there's going to be some disagreement about a power grab or those kind of things, not with this sheriff. I'm hoping that, as the chair says, that the next person who runs for this office, regardless of when that is, that becomes the platform for electing the next sheriff here. Is we're not going back, we're moving on from where we are. The public needs to ask that question. Are you committed to a better model of public safety in this community? And if they're not, don't elect them. I could have done a little bit differently from time to time, and I'll acknowledge that. But the ego I'm talking about is the ego that really gets you to a job that tells you how important it is that you do whatever you think necessary in terms of retaining the integrity of a structure that protects this public. The chair and the board have helped us get there. I don't come to this reluctantly. I welcome this change. It is time. The structure here does not work to productive government, nor as certainly protecting the public. In fact, the structure defeats the current structure as prior to today, and the memorandum has actually added to the problem of safety in this community.